Okay. Almost didn't make it. But we're here. We're here. I'm so drained. I'm so tired. But tropical world problems, the reason I'm tired is because I've been at the beach all day, just like lounging. And so all of my energy has been given to the sun. Essentially, I've just been literally, it's almost like a detox. Also, if you're hearing the vuvuzelas, it's election season, so voting happens on Monday. So it's people are out here repping their state. I love it. I mean, I really do like the atmosphere and the spirit. I will admit that this year's election season spirit has not been as lively, let's say, but it's still been there. And I feel like Kenyan election season is a good time. It's almost like a football match. It's like a whole bunch of songs, like really interesting tracks. This is like not related to Afro at all, but it's been very funny watching or listening to some of the lyrics of these songs and the accompanying videos. So far, honestly, my favorite song is from the Union Party. So if you get a chance, just Google like Ghana Union Party, GUP, their song. Because it is just hilarious. It is a whole bop. I think my second would probably be Samini's for MPP. Like that's a pretty fun and interesting song. It's also just funny like the songs being like chants about promises and things that people have or have not done. But yeah, imagine a whole election soundtrack. But yeah, anyway, that aside, episode 5, we are still talking about the tenets of the Build Black Globally movement. First one being build trust, the second one being build networks or build community, and the third is building resources. And so creating the things that will help people to connect, portals, databases, websites, apps, like whatever that looks like, which I think I have an idea of what that's going to be for me. But whatever it is, it's actually like facilitating that. And like yesterday, how we were talking about network effects and the value of having like linkages across the globe and building communities, whether that's online, face-to-face, in my case, using events to really get people to connect and to talk to each other and to love upon each other. The platforms and the resources are also important because they enable people, right? Like making sure that there's something that enables people to do what they need to do. So in economics, for example, we talk a lot about enabling environments. So what are the set of things that need to be in place to ensure that an economy can grow, that a business can grow, that, if it's political economy, that there's, a balance of power, etc. And so here's the case where we're saying what is the what set of things would need to be done to enable people to connect their businesses with each other. And I know right now there are actually a lot of really great resources in the US and the UK, even in Ghana. I recently saw a website of Black owned businesses in Ghana, which you would think isn't every business Black owned, but interestingly, some of the biggest ones and some of the most profitable ones are not. So I think, having such resources where we can see very clearly, who is doing what, where, how, and with what intensity, in what places, right? Like data, information, databases, whatever that is. So shout out to, the resources that already exist, Melanoid Exchange, buyblack.com, Shop Black, for the UK, just there are lots. But what I'm actually interested in, beyond just the information component, is this idea of how do we actually facilitate transactions. So how do we make it such that a person in X place can connect with a person in Y place and facilitate some kind of business transaction that is mutually beneficial. And I believe that such a platform is necessary, especially for the continent, because they exist for China, they exist in the US, and so why doesn't Africa have one, and why doesn't that one specifically target other Black and small women-owned businesses around the world? I think what'll be interesting about building such a platform is getting over some of the debilitating factors. Like, what makes it difficult, for example, to do business across the continent? First, you have issues around distribution portals, like, ports, shipping. Just like, for example, if you want to buy from a brand here, you're going to pay so much money to get it to you. It's going to take much longer. You may or may not get a tracking number. There's just like so much to be fixed within that space. But if we said, okay, instead of it just being like one-on-one retail opportunities, like, how do we wholesale bring the things that we need from each other to build each other's communities to a place where it's easier to access? And how do we, like, if those are raw materials, if those are other brands, whatever that looks like, how do we create like that consistency of access? Consistency of access. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that is, my black-eyed peas are boiling. I'm making red. But that is the third one, building resources and developing a sort of exchange for goods, services, ideas across the continent, across the US, the Caribbean, UK, etc. So yeah, I mean, I would again be interested in hearing, other thoughts, other ideas, other experiences of that connection, right? Like, we've seen a lot of like buy black stuff, but when we're talking about build black, like one of such resources that I actually really love is Ethel's Club, which is both an online space and an offline space for creatives of colors who connect and to grow and to just like vibe, to share resources, etc. And I think that having such a space, it's in New York City, is really important, because beyond just like buy the black things, it's like, how do we have the conversations? How do we exchange ideas? How do we exchange information about who's doing what, where, how, and to what, and for what reason? Like, how do we do those things, like beyond just like the consumerism thing, which we talked about in the Buy Black versus Build Black video. So that's the third tenet, episode 5. Love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, a video a day keeps the shy monster away. I don't know. Anyway, it's time to go to sleep. All right. Good night.